Hi, and welcome to the Diablo podcast, your home for Diablo diehards, tryhards, casual, and hardcore alike. I am your host, Xanth, and today I am joined by the gruesome twosome, the co-host with the most hosts? Yeah, that's close enough. Uh,
Co-host.
I like it. Uh, Nerdwords
Hello.
and Nimble.
Oh hi.
And we are back. It has been a hot minute since we did an episode. We didn't quit. We didn't leave. We didn't, kind of flitter off into the night. Life has just been busy. We are real ass adults, guys. Things get in the way, and sometimes that happens. And what I will say is, full disclosure, I don't talk about my personal life that often, but my father-in-law is in hospice, so a lot of my time has been devoted to kind of that. It is horrible and beautiful at the same time to be able to like express to somebody how much they have mattered before the inevitable, right? Like that is so cool to be able to do, but it's also so hard to have to do it. So that has kind of been taking me away. And then obviously the boys have got their lives there, and I'm not going to share anything that you guys don't want to. And that's not this podcast. Um, this, this would get real sad real quick. Um, that's not the goal, but there are always things outside of our control. Hopefully everybody out there is taking care of themselves, and um, tell the people you love that you love them while you can, because it's great to say it and it's great to hear it. And I love you guys, so thanks for coming by. No, I'm not here to get sappy. I'm here to talk about Diablo. Uh, we have had a lot of stuff happen since we last chatted. We were on the precipice of the PTR. So the PTR has come and gone. And now we are in the PR PTR, or the PTPR, whatever you want to call it. Uh,
Cute.
right? Thank you.
I like
Where
it.
we have Blizzard developers doing something a little different, going to different streamers, giving interviews, and talking about season 11, and then, some hints along the way. So, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about the PTR, we're going to talk about these interviews, and then we'll talk about our general speculation for the future, which has already been hinted at, and we'll go into it. So, let's go first. Let's talk PTR. PTR lands. Did anybody here try it?
Negative. No.
Okay. No.
Should not be a surprise that I did
Yep.
not play
Did not have time.
No. That is fair. What I will tell you is I actually did. I did try it. Look at me. Just the
it.
try
Who
hard.
are you?
I know. I hate myself a little bit too. I hate myself for downloading and trying a PTR. I hate myself every time somebody says 6-7 and I kind of giggle. Like I hate myself. I hate myself a lot.
I I because I work with a demographic close to the ones that you work with.
Right.
I
Yeah.
have found that when I say 6-7, they all groan.
Yeah.
So I have eliminated it by embracing it.
Oh, that has been my strategy with all things teen slang related. Is the more I use it, the more kids will be like, well, the olds have it now. We can't use it anymore. Because it goes from the olds to the corporations, and then nobody's saying it.
And the man's got you.
No,
Yes.
no, we're gonna get there. We're getting there. And like putting it out on this little niche podcast is the step. It is the step to eliminating. I digress. I did go and play on the PTR for a little bit because I was very curious about the toughness changes. I was curious about the leveling changes. I was just curious about the feel of the game. And I'm happy to report it feels a lot like a Diablo. Not too surprising, guys. You get skills, you kill a few things. Yeah, it's got that vibe. One of the things I love about the season, and the approach that they're taking with it is I like that we no longer get the 15 odd skill points right out the gate. Um, when we had the Vessel of Hatred press release beta, or the press release, test review copy. That's the word I'm looking for. When we had the review copy, um, we were started on blank characters. We didn't have our Paragon points. We didn't have anything like that, and leveling felt really good. Like you felt that logical progression. And then you jumped into regular launch, you got your 15 points, and you started trivializing things pretty quickly. It's not to say that leveling is figured out. It's not to say that leveling is the best thing in the world, but I do like that progression. Did you guys have any thoughts on that? I think maybe it's a different thing from a softcore hardcore kind of mindset too. But was that of any note to either of you as you're going to blast on through?
I mean,
This. Go ahead.
well, go for it. No, you go for it.
I was just gonna say, I think this is what the third revamp of the 1 to 60 leveling process that we've had since Vessel of Hatred now, and I don't like the direction that it's been going. To be honest, it is the least impactful, least important part of the gameplay experience. I generally have more limited time, especially lately. Personal life hasn't been kind on free time, and so making that process take even longer is less appealing to me. So yeah,
What
I
I
I didn't test it. I didn't test it. I will throw that out there. So I will see once season 11 goes through and hits. But I've not been a fan of them extending that process out since Vessel of Hatred, and I don't see myself being a fan of it going into season 11.
I will say, and I think that it was one of the impetuses that led me to doing the PTR was that exact fear. And the leveling itself from the 1 to 60 did not feel any slower. So it just felt more weighty where you weren't in the base game right now. It's kind of like you're playing catch up to where your skill points are in terms of like the feel of combat. Like I need to be like level 30 before everything kind of feels even, as opposed to going through and getting a skill point at a time. Just felt better. The monsters are dying just as quickly. Um, yeah, I didn't find it to be negatively impacting the overall time frame. But I love that you brought up it is one of the many swings that they've taken at 1 to 60. Why I don't know. No words, any thoughts on that?
Got me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm kind of. I kind of see both sides. Like, I definitely don't understand why so much attention is being paid to this part of the experience. I mean, like, I guess as soon as I say that, it does actually, because they talked a lot about like how many of us, people that have been playing for a while, have that bonus when we start, but when a brand new player starts and they don't have that bonus, it's difficult for them to balance the game with those two disparities of like the starting experience and leveling. I guess I just don't know how many people are just starting that they're trying to get into the gameplay loops, you know? So I don't know. I'm sure that's data driven somewhere. I'm sure there's a reason why it's important that I don't know. It doesn't affect me that much because, like you said, Nine, it's such a small part of the game. But if it's affecting more people, and it's something I don't. To me, I don't have a big opinion on it until I try it. I'll feel better about it when I actually try it, and I just did not have time to check the PTR. I don't want to slow down the leveling experience, but making it feel a little less like zoomy from the start, I don't think is a problem. I don't know. It depends on how it feels, really. Leveling can
Yeah.
feel really fun and really good and really satisfying to go through and grind. But if it takes me, an additional, 5, 6 hours to hit max level and get to the actual game I'm trying to play, then that might be frustrating. It'll be tough to say till I play it. So
That's
Yeah,
actually a really good point. That I didn't even consider. I imagine that that was like one of the things that like Diablo 3 actually continued to have really strong sales
Mhm.
a decade after the game had come out,
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
year to year, where the onboarding process for new players, was an important thing. I would see, and you putting that out there now makes me think like, oh, duh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Especially if like
Wanting to
they're
go
gonna,
through and do
if
that.
they're gonna announce that expansion, right? That's gonna
Oh,
hopefully
yeah,
onboard even more people. So like, why not fix that before you get to the expansion so it's less, you know, that less
I'm
friction? I
sold.
guess I don't know. Interesting.
I'm sold. Yeah.
Yeah,
um,
we'll see. But as long as it doesn't feel like shit, right? As long as it doesn't feel like shit. But like, I do also find it weird on the other side that like we went through and did all these alters. Like, why?
I was
Like,
gonna
why
Yeah.
the fuck
bring
did
that
I do
up.
Now,
that? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think
especially,
that's the real, the real
especially
true
because you
theme.
hated it. You
Yeah.
hated every
Oh
second of
yeah.
that.
Absolutely.
You were
It was awful.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
It
were
was.
on I'm not doing you were on team I'm not doing this, period. I don't care how many skill points you give me. So
Yeah, I did it though. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
um
did it right away. Right away.
I mean,
Um,
it.
I still haven't hit Paragon 300 though for the same reason because like, bro, it's just not interesting enough.
I mean,
no. Yeah.
that that
I don't
300
even
Paragon point.
I
I only get to
Farewell.
like Paragon like 200 something like every season, like 215, 220, right where it starts slowing down. Like I don't think I'm ever hitting Paragon 300 period at this
Yeah,
point,
that's like it's like
even on my
hitting
Eternal
90.
Realm character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hit 90 in D2 and just be like, okay, that's good. That's
Yeah.
I feel like
good.
Paragon
Yeah.
300 and 1 to 60 are almost the same thing. Like in terms of parts of the game, you don't need to be Paragon 300, and 1 to
Right.
60 doesn't really need to exist almost because there's nothing that you get along the way. That's where like coming back to like the revitalization of the 1 to 60, like, well, why? Like there's nothing there. If anything, if you do elongate it, it just will lead to more frustration. But
And of course, you die so much that the 1 to
exactly.
60 really
I
matters a lot to you. So,
honestly, what I will state, I don't die that often. And that's not like a
interesting.
humble brag. I just don't think the game is as difficult as what it was when it started. It is a
Yeah.
lot easier to not die now. Um,
People were really mad when it was hard. So
yeah,
people were really not okay with it being hard. So
I did everything I needed to do in season 10 and died. I died once while leveling. And then I was just really messing around while I was running like 2 weeks ago and died. And I was just like, all right, well, I'm done. I mean, like I did everything. This is cool. That was fun. See you next time. Um, but I digress. So we're gonna get sucked into leveling for 40 odd minutes, and there's so much more to kind of dig into. Uh, since nobody else PTR'd, let's just get to the juicy stuff. Let's just get to these interviews. The PTR happens. People have reactions. And it's always like we don't need to wrap everything up because we're going to get another interview soon where they'll come out and be like, hey, we looked at all the feedback, we've made some changes. This
yeah,
is how we fixed it. And this is where it's real. But they're doing something different right now. They're going out and they're meeting with some streamers to talk about season 11 to build a little hype. And the amount of people who are upset at how these interviews have went is wild to me because Blizzard is a billion-dollar company. They're not going to just send two rogue developers into a stream to be like, all right, just try not to leak secrets and we'll be okay. Like, they get PR training. They meet with like public relations before they go do this. They get trained for
I
6 8 hours on what to say to questions. Like, that's their job. They're not going to just go in and be like, hey, we're best friends now because I'm on the internet with you. Let me tell you all of the things that everybody in the community is upset about, and I'm just holding back. Like, no, that's not what these things are. Who thought that would happen?
I know my information is like a few years dated, so I don't know if it's the case anymore. But it used to be a policy, not just for the Diablo team, but for any Blizzard developer, that you were not allowed to go on camera unless you had a mandatory PR training course. So it's like that's why you would see the same developers like again and again and again was because it wasn't. It sounded more in depth than just like a single like 6 hour like training session or something like that. That it was more like a course that you had to go through in order to get certified to be allowed to talk on camera. So obviously policies can change over the years and such, but it sounds like something that they took very seriously.
My wife is in PR, and this is what she does for a living before people are going to be on camera to represent her company. She's doing this. She's giving seminars. She's leading people so that when she does call on them to get in front of a camera, they aren't going to mess up. They aren't going to. And we had Jay Wilson on, talking about how if he messes up, the stock price changes and people lose money and then they get upset. Like, they're not going to do that. However, there are still some things that come out. So, one of the big things from the Rax interview, and there was no follow-up question to this, and that I will say, like, I don't know how you don't follow up on this one, Rax. That was dropping the ball, right? Because this is what I heard, and I listened to the interview again this morning. They commented on adding new or expanding torment levels. Gentlemen, we have 4 torment levels already. How many torment levels did Diablo 3 get to?
16,
How many torment levels is too many?
somewhere between 4 and 16, I guess.
I would argue yes. Thank you.
Um, it this is another one of those ones where it's like again, this is just me complaining, without actually having experienced it or anything like that. But this one
Go
of the
off,
feelings
King.
that I'm getting from one of the feelings that I'm getting from season 11 is just like, didn't you tell us this is the thing that you didn't want to do anymore? We had the armor resistance changes, which had changed to the system that we're getting is the system that we had before that they told us was a good thing that they had to change to better balance the game, but now it's better to do it the old way. Fine. If it doesn't work out, great. Let's do something different. But then now also like the whole point of the restructuring like the torment levels and such for Vessel of Hatred was that, well, we can just scale torments 1 through 4 upwards in terms of power scaling and such, so that way we don't have to add more torment levels in the future. That if things get too ridiculous, the difficulty for Torment 4 will just be like increased, and it's something they've already done, since Vessel has launched. And so now being like, well, we're now open to adding more torment levels, and it's just like I was on one of those people that in Diablo 3 it did not bother me. It was for me. I was okay just playing Torment 1, 2, 4, and 16. And everything else was just kind of useless in between. Um, that doesn't bother me as a player, but it's just one of those ones where it's more so the whiplash effect for but it's not even like sorry, I'm having difficulty putting this into words. It's like if you go through and you find that it's not working, the intended purpose of we're just going to lock it in at 4 torment levels and we're not going to get ridiculous or anything like that, and then you find in the data or what have you that it's just that system isn't working out, then acknowledge it that way, that we're it's not working the way that we want to. We need a little bit more developer freedom, and so we're going to go back on some of the things that we said, and we're going to add in additional torment levels when they make sense. But it's just like, oh yeah, we're going to be adding more torment levels, and it's just like, but why? And we don't have an answer to that one. So it's just like this nebulous concept that is in contradiction to previous statements that we've had from the developer team.
I feel like that's been a lot of the development of Diablo 4. Tent
Yeah.
poles placed 2 years, 3 years before launch, 6 months before launch, at launch, tent poles that we would not, that we have just gradually like picked up and moved continuously. Um, And look, it's a game being developed while it's live. It's a live
Yep.
service game. It's so is there need for evolution? Sure. Is there need for things to change and get better and improve? Sure. But like you
Yep.
said, like man, the rubber banding on resistances alone has been kind of wild to watch. But I can't think of a game that has had development like this. Not to say that it's more or less than anything else. It just feels like such wild swings in different directions on the game,
Mhm.
and wild opinions too. Like again, the torment thing. I will say this though, just to be completely blunt, honest. When Diablo 3 was going to expand from Torment 6 to Torment 10, I was on this podcast and I was bemoaning it and very frustrated. Like I was like, "This is stupid. What are we doing? Like this doesn't make any sense." It felt really stupid to me, and like it just was unnecessary. But it largely became irrelevant in the end, even when we went up to Torment 16, like you said. Like it just became
Mhm.
like a slider you just drug and whatever. So while I
Yep.
had big opinions about it out of the gate, it wasn't that big of a deal that they added it. It just feels so weird that they keep like giving into these things that they again tent pulled out before the game came out or as it came out.
Mhm.
Just crazy.
It feels like there's this conflict point with the game in the infinite scaling of it, right? That if we keep giving players access to all of this power, then the only thing we can do is just keep raising the ceiling. So like,
Mhm.
all right, they already know how, with all the power that we've given them, to cap the resistances. So it's now, like we're doing as much damage as we possibly can to them, and then they're able to do way more damage than what we've ever thought. So the only thing we can do is raise the ceiling. Let's do a torment 5. Let's do a torment 6. And now those monsters, your resistances and armor are lower. But hey, you know what? Even that could still be easily figured out. Let's switch back to a toughness, which will make it harder to survive this raised ceiling until we give you more power, where we'll have to kind of creep it back up. Instead of, and I know this might be harder, and I am not a developer, but like going back and maybe clawing back all of this multiplicative damage that we're given so we don't need to keep going up. I don't know how that could work. I know there's a shit ton of multipliers there. But as long as we keep being given them, we're going to have to keep raising that ceiling.
Mhm.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then, like,
And
nothing feels good. All
I
right, we
mean,
nailed it.
if there's one like core philosophy that I feel that the developers should change that they haven't is the switch that they did like in season 3, season 4 from additive to multiplicative modifiers across the board on everything. Like instead of adding more torment levels or going back and forth on resistances and armor and reworking the leveling system and stuff like that. How about we just like lower all the numbers in the game? It's just like it was funny seeing some people comment on Reddit about how like we're going back to the Diablo 3 days where numbers are ridiculous, and it's like, what game do you play? Because they already are. Like
they've
the
been
number,
ridiculous.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the numbers in Diablo 4 put the numbers in Diablo 3 to shame. It's
Pre-season
like,
I never saw
pre-season 1.
infinity in Diablo 3. I never saw
yeah.
the infinity symbol come up in Diablo 3. Um, but yeah, you are correct in that the the numbers are ridiculous, and there's been several passes to try and make them smaller, and those were quickly negated by the fact that we are given so much power, right? If you don't address why they're getting so high, what are we actually doing, right? We scaled down some numbers here and there, but like if you don't make a full sweep itemization number 3, then it's not going to do anything, and I think like that's the frustrating part as we kind of like are working through some of these things with toughness and torment, right? We've tread this ground before. It didn't seem super successful. Why are we kind of coming back to it? Why, like, part of what Diablo 4 represented was a new start, right? And there is a lot of critique of like, hey, we're pulling a lot of Diablo 3 in here. But kind of what you were
which
saying, Nineball, they're actually
I
not
just
taking
want to
the
say,
the good
pulling.
parts of it.
Yeah, I was about to say because to be clear, pulling Diablo 3 things is fine. Diablo 3 is a great game.
Right.
There's no problem with going through and pulling some of that stuff over. But like you just said, like let's pull some of the good things. You know,
Yeah. Like
And
let's
also,
yeah.
and also, in 2025, in the year of our Lord 2025, to be learning from things 2 years plus into the development of Diablo 4 from Diablo 3 10 years ago feels fucking wild that we're just now getting there. Feels fucking wild. Um, yeah, that's pretty much the whole thought. So just
Yeah, it's
not a bad thing, but like really, that's as far as we've gotten so far.
I don't like toughness, and that was a big thing of getting into PTR and trying it. There's like a nebulous nature to what this stat actually means that I liked being able to go in and understand this is an armor cap. And like, do you need to have like a really static armor cap of 1,000, or could you just like have it be a little bit more, I don't know, dependent on character level and paragon level and stuff like that, and like play with it where it's more of a moving target? Yeah, but like toughness is a number that I just don't get. I don't understand what I need to do to make my character better from a hardcore standpoint. Like, I don't. It wasn't my
Get more
poison
toughness,
resist.
bro. Just get more toughness.
Right. Was it my poison
but
resistance that killed me? Was it the
No, it was toughness, you dumbass. Go get more of it.
yeah,
like
Turns
my
out
my
though,
my,
poison resist adds to toughness. Crazy.
just get more?
my toughness is 10,000, but I keep dying on Torment 6. What am I
Well,
doing
you need
wrong?
at least 11,670 plus in torment 6,
Right.
or
So
you're not at your cap yet. So
you got to get more toughness.
gotta get more toughness. You gotta go lift heavy things
It's
till
tough
you
out
get more
there.
toughness.
Get more toughness.
Once you've
Um
lifted all the heavy things and are tougher, then you can go into the next torment.
Also, it's a stupid stat. Toughness is stupid. This is like, I want to stress, we spend a lot of time shitting on Diablo. I love this game. I really do. I genuinely do. It's just sometimes there are just so many baffling things. We're just like, uh, call it something else. Call it, I don't know, resilience. Call it something.
Would
But
that
like,
make it better? If they called it resilience, would it make it better?
no.
Isn't
But
resilience
god
already a
damn it,
keyword
then
in the
we'd be
game?
saying this is just toughness with a different name. But when you call it the thing that you already used and said doesn't work, I think it's a bad look. If you said, you know what, we looked at toughness, we're rolling out resilience, and we feel like it's a little bit more effective in this newer system because of X, Y, and Z. I could buy into some of that PR bullshit, but I can't do it when you still keep the same name of the other thing. I'm just saying you need to lie better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now a year into the expansion, how are you feeling about Runewords?
Not as optimistic as I thought. I thought that'd be cooler. That did not come to fruition. But that's okay. That's okay. There could be new ones coming up. All right, coming back to it, we're talking toughness and torment levels. Toughness, again, what I will state is it is a PTR. They did address that items on the PTR would not indicate whether it was improving or not improving your toughness, which kind of a big part of this. So maybe with that addition, plus maybe some tweaks on it, toughness could feel better. I just don't like it. I'm happy to be proven wrong because again, let's go back to Infernal Hordes, right? Infernal Hordes hits the PTR. None of us were impressed. None of us thought like this is going to be a great season. I'm super stoked. And everybody here had a great time. It was a great season, right? Could this
Sure.
be another another case of Infernal Hordes? I don't think so, but I am happy to be wrong. Um, I think what I will say is that if there it to me, season 11 feels like a groundwork patch. It feels like, and we're going to get to this eventually. This to me feels like the patch before an expansion. This to me feels like we're going to level as best we can. We're going to bring it down and then we'll drop an expansion because I think if this is it, we bring it down to the bare bones as best we can. Then we drop the expansion on top and allow that power creep to start to set in as opposed to doing a season after it. Convince me I'm wrong because I know neither one of you believe that the expansion is going to come out in March like I do.
I don't
Nope.
believe there is an expansion. I don't. Again, until they officially announce it, I won't. I refuse. They've said it for every Diablo game ever, and it never happens. I will not believe it until I have it pre-orderable. So it's not happening.
Eyeball, tell me I'm wrong.
I I do not see them going through and doing, from announcement to release like in 4 months.
Okay, so I'm hearing that when I was at my lowest, nobody had faith in me.
No, absolutely not. Do
Yes,
better.
Vamp. Yes,
Do better.
yes. That is the problem.
Well,
Yeah.
if I'm going to
I
quote
mean,
one
I
of
would
my
love that.
favorite
That would
poems
be
about
amazing.
Jesus, this is when he'll carry me. Um,
Mm,
See, the other
mm,
set of footstep. Never mind.
Look,
But
more hidden footprints.
mm.
nice topical. I it feels to me though that by bringing down toughness, by talking about this increasing of torment levels, it does feel like they're laying that foundation for the expansion to drop after this season. Let's get players used to these new monster families. Let's get players used to the way leveling works now. And then let's bring them back. It's kind of like here's your medicine of this season. But guess what? We got the spoonful of sugar coming. It's going to be
All right,
there.
Rod.
It's
I'm
going to
having
be
PTSD
there.
flashbacks right now. Not a fan.
I'm just saying it feels to me like that is what it will be from a timeline standpoint. I don't think we're waiting too much longer for the expansion at as is. I know Nineball, you are still in that camp that BlizzCon is where we're going to see or hear it. I think it's coming sooner. It just feels like it. Um, we are hearing, we're going to kind of bounce around. We've heard that we need to pay attention to the game awards, right? I think we see it, and then I think we get it. I think we get the date, and if it's not March, it's June. I don't think it can go past June.
June feels far more reasonable.
And then,
Not real.
yeah, that's fair. Something else Diablo rated related for BlizzCon. I think it'll be something else. I don't. Is it another
I think it's going to
expansion?
be, and hear me out, a new hoodie.
I could use another Diablo hoodie.
Same.
Yeah,
Me too.
there you go. It's actually a goblin pet that you get. So
Mm.
there you go.
I've had critiques in the past of wearing the same hoodie, so
By the way, am going to BlizzCon, so I'll be in line to buy my hoodie.
Yay! This is your
Yay.
first. No,
No,
like
I've been
no.
yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
you've been
several times.
before.
I
Yeah, but
haven't been
it's been
in a
like
long time.
I was about to say it's been like over a decade.
I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
gone.
Oh, close. Yeah, I think I went 2017 or 2016. Yeah, 2016 I think was the last one.
Gotcha.
So about 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, never gone.
And I'm excited to
Maybe
buy my
this year.
Diablo hoodie. That they're gonna have a whole hall dedicated to that new Diablo hoodie launch that's happening.
Hmm. Sounds good.
I'll be there to buy it.
Let's go
Make
back
some
to
D&D dice again.
speculation, though. Does that timetable make sense? March or June?
No,
Based on.
not March. No, that doesn't make any sense at all.
It would make
Um,
sense if there was a game in development for a hoodie. I mean, really, any time of year is
Yeah.
fine to drop one of those.
I mean, they're very climate based. I mean,
I
depending on
mean,
where
they
you
don't
live,
want
you
to
can
go
wear a
to
hoodie.
November for the expansion, right? Because
It's too long.
obviously it's well, there's that, but also there's steep competition with every
Right.
game.
But BlizzCon
With
is
the
in
alleged
September, right?
September, yeah.
So
mhm.
if they were to announce it or release it
They could do in
around that time,
October.
yeah. But it's
So
still
I guess we should say that they basically have hinted that they're announcing it at the Video Game Awards. So it's
yes,
not so much that BlizzCon would be the point that they announce it or anything like
right.
that.
Or like
Um,
timing the
I think
release with BlizzCon.
yeah, I don't think that BlizzCon is going to factor into its like release like at all, but it is definitely one of those ones where it's like the BlizzCon they're going to be talking about the expansion, and no matter like when it releases, it's going to be stuff that we kind of already know. It's either is because it's either going to be we have the PTR and like say that they do something crazy in the game in the expansion releases October of next year. By September we'd have the PTR, and so they would just be talking about things that we've already had access to, or say it releases like we've speculated like June, July, or even August,
Or
then the
March.
expansion is already out, or no, I'm not entertaining that at all. Xanth, you have a problem, and you should seek help.
It's so good.
Um, that it's like the expansion will already be out, and so now we're just talking about things that have already come, and that we're
Yeah.
just looking forward to what the next season is, or what the next big thing is, or what their roadmap or plans are for after the expansion.
Yeah, and I can see where there are doubters about March. Um, I get that. So I'm going to choose to live in your world. Uh, June does have a logic to it. I mean, there is a decent history with Diablo in June as well. Um, Summertime, no competition right now. I mean, it'll be
There's
interesting.
stuff.
I mean, there's always a game. Like there have been so many games that they're
Yeah, but there's
releasing.
there's you've got there's some stuff brewing.
Yeah, but it won't be Grand Theft Auto level distracting, right?
Well, nothing will be besides that, which is now pushed to yeah, holiday.
Right. And we'll more
Maybe.
than likely miss that.
Allegedly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It could. Yeah, very well. They will
But
take their time.
yeah, by all means, they should. But originally it was scheduled for May, which made June a little less likely. But now it could happen. But it won't because it's happening in March. So prep your butts, take your time off, clear your calendar for a beautiful March release. If I'm guessing on dates, I mean, we're going to see season 11 in early December. So yeah, probably March. I don't know. Let's just look at the calendar here. March.
I'll I'll do you one better, because I probably am
March 10th.
gonna be having I was just about to say that sounds great. I'd even say like, how about March 3rd? Just because I'm probably gonna be having surgery like the last week in February, and so I won't have use of my right arm for the launch of the expansion. So that sounds perfect.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would
Work out
actually line
ideally,
up.
right?
Like, I feel like most of the time, big Diablo launches coincide with you not being able to play them. So,
That, yeah,
yeah.
multiple times.
I don't think you considered that. What do you got going on in June, huh?
Yeah, what's your schedule look like, Nine? Let's just figure it out that way.
Currently, I don't have anything planned for June, so I guess maybe it does leave more credence to March, just for the fact that I won't be able to play.
See, suddenly people are coming on Xanth's side here
I don't
for
think anybody is.
March release. I don't
I don't
know.
think anybody is.
Did you
If the
look at the
game is ready and
evidence?
launches in March, that would be amazing.
Right.
If you're telling me that I'm supposed to expect a billion-dollar gaming company to move up their release date of a game that's already proven to not be
I,
All right.
fully
So
developed,
we're
would be
spending
crazy.
a lot of time going into why I think it's March, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time. So what we need to think about here is first
so
and
I so
foremost.
I just want to say this. So previously, you didn't think that like March would be like a good time frame because
Right.
it would be competing with Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
So it would come out. It'd have to come out afterwards. But now that Grand Theft Auto isn't that in that window, they're gonna move it up months. You're talking how many
No, I think
potential
we initially said
development
that
hours?
we thought March was maybe just too soon, but I'm willing to say that I think I'm wrong, and let me explain. All right, so
I'm glad that you're willing to acknowledge that you think you're wrong about March.
and look, I'll make this podcast in a year, and I'll come back and be like, I was totally wrong about March, and that's
We
okay.
don't have to wait a year for you to be wrong about March. That's not
I
how
hope it's a
time works.
gray. I hope it's a gray hoodie.
So what I'm saying is, I'm willing to, in about a year's time, admit that I was wrong about that. But
Just not yet.
so
Yeah.
here's what I think. We do know initially the expansion would have came out on a yearly schedule right about now, right? We would be playing it because we're already past the 1 year anniversary of Vessel. We're gonna go several months after that into this March window. I think we get an announcement at Game Awards, and I think we get a 3 month blitz of trying to condense. And I don't think they can do a 6 to 10 month window on a second expansion that didn't, if we're looking at expansion one, didn't quite win people over. I think they want to get people back into Diablo as soon as possible. And I think you do it with a short window. Grab attention at Game Awards and get them back quickly, as opposed to saying, hey, come back to us in the summer after a bunch of other stuff has already came out too. That's just me. But I feel like, and I want to hold on to that hope, that that's what's going to happen. Have I won you over yet?
No.
No.
Damn it. Well, you know,
There is
eyes like
no
me.
expansion in development.
This is Blizzard. This is Blizzard
It's
Entertainment,
true.
the company that, of course, is famously known for having tight development schedules and putting things out earlier than expected.
This
Yeah.
is later than expected.
Uh,
Yearly expansions.
And Midnight's
I mean,
coming out
yeah,
sometime between now and then.
yeah, and the whole thing about them missing the annual, of course, is not surprising anybody at all.
No,
And I don't think that it's going to be just like a year plus 4 months. It's going to be longer than.
we're gonna find out. Okay,
Hey,
so
you know
we
what? And I know it's disappointing for it to be that far away for you, Xanth, but it'll still be faster than Diablo 3's second expansion or Diablo. As long as you get it, I am excited to buy my hoodie.
Yeah, and also I think that the thing that would impress the user base the most is having a well-developed expansion as
you
opposed
would
to
think,
a
and
rushed one.
Please
yet
take your time. Yeah. Please take your time.
Yeah.
And yet, we shall see.
I don't know why they would be in a hurry. I don't think that like even if they did a 10 out of 10 second expansion, they're bringing that many people back. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't see that happen. Plus, you got to remember too with the merger and everything. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna be on Game Pass, right? So it's gonna
I
launch.
I would actually be curious about that because currently, if you have the game, isn't just base game on Game Pass, not the expansion,
Yeah, just base game, I believe, is right now.
right?
Yeah,
So
but still, that's
you have an install base, but whether or not they're gonna buy into
pay
the
$40
expansion,
for or more, right?
right?
I don't know. We'll see.
Like
I don't know
that's the
what the
other
strat
thing
would
that
be there.
I think that's the other thing that this has going against it is you do have a box cost, right? This isn't just an expansion, but it's like, hey, you will have to pay for it on top of like will vessels still be required as well? So if you're a new player who came in
Oh
off
god.
of it was free on PlayStation over the summer, or
Yeah.
was that September? Maybe it was summer. And then obviously it's on Game Pass. If you've got to buy Vessel and you've got to buy the new expansion, whatever it would be, even if Vessel's deeply discounted, it's an extra cost that you have to kind of add in for a game that you technically already have. We're
Destiny's
diehards.
been doing
We're
that for
going to,
years, so I'm
right?
sure they'll find a way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm it's one of those ones where obviously World of Warcraft and Diablo have different developers, but the I would imagine that the teams that are in charge of the monetization of like these systems and such are, kind of, IP agnostic, and that they're working across all of the various franchises. And so with WoW, whenever a new expansion comes out, that gives you the base game and everything up to it.
Okay.
So I imagine that probably will be getting to the point that uh, the base game is just free. It's just going
Yeah,
to be like a free to play model, and then you just have to buy the most recent expansion, and you won't have to buy the stuff in between.
It is,
that would be good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's just what my feeling is. Is similar to what they did with like StarCraft and such, and eventually in Diablo 3's life cycle, you couldn't buy the base game. It was all or nothing. And the
Yeah,
only it was your decision was buying Reaper of Souls or the Necromancer pack, and that was it.
Right.
And that you're getting everything
They're
packaged all at
still
once. So
not bundled together, if I recall correctly, right? The Necro pack.
I think I don't know about PC, but on consoles, the what was it? I think it's like they stopped selling Reaper of Souls and they started selling the Eternal Collection,
Mm,
which was which
it
was
has
Reaper of
everything.
Souls, the base game, and the Necro expansion.
Okay. Um,
So I would think that with expansion two, we probably will just see a single package game, where you just buy this expansion, it gives you all the content up to that point, and that the base game, since they've already offered it for free on PlayStation, it's on Game Pass, that you'll probably see base game go free to play.
mm.
Um,
And then just
but
heavily restrict what base game can go and do,
yeah,
which makes sense. Um, hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things that like in this conversation, like I just had never really considered what that was going to look like because we've never had to do it. We've never had a second expansion, right? And I know as of right now, we still don't have a second expansion. We may never have a second expansion, but all signs are pointing to a second expansion existing. What that actually looks like and how it rolls out will be interesting. I can see you just have Vessel when you buy whatever X2 happens to be. Um, it would be logical.
I I do know that in terms of like rolling, that is useful while traveling, but generally you should just leave your hoodie up in the closet. That you shouldn't like roll it up.
right. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, we all like hoodies. Uh, okay. So we've got new torments. We've got new
Well, hang on. They haven't
expansion.
added torments yet.
I
Yeah,
haven't
but
added torments yet.
They
it,
said it out loud. They're talking about or have talked about it. Not that they were doing it for sure.
There is, I want to point out, there is a contingent within the Diablo community that desperately wants that. Like, that is
No,
not
and that's
like
fair.
a,
Again,
Yeah.
there,
I had big opinions on Diablo 3, and I turns out did not actually matter at all. It was fine. It ended up being
Yeah.
fine. It was just more sliders, so whatever.
I,
I'm not dug in on it. I'm not gonna die on that hill.
I
We'll see.
think that is a beautiful
Right.
transition to the last point. In the Rax interview, he asked the developers about dopamine. Where does the dopamine hit come from in an ARPG like Diablo or in Diablo 4? Insinuating that currently in Diablo 4, there isn't as much of a hit. And I want to kind of go back a few episodes ago. We did a awesome battle bracket breaking down the best items in Diablo.
Still appalled by that bracket.
Hey, you you can't hate on the winners, right?
Right?
And nobody
You can't.
nobody shat on it. There were no negative comments saying like that was ridiculous. People were like, "Oh, I kind of get it."
Yeah.
At least what I saw. I didn't dig too deep. Maybe you did. Maybe people did shit on it. So when we did that, and obviously I'm the one who put the items together, but there were no Diablo 4 items that came to mind, right? Have you
Could have been.
do
It
you
could have been.
do you feel like Diablo 4 itemization it has that dopamine if you know you're gonna get it?
We. Ooh,
The
that's
Like compare it to like you would log into to D2 and we're
hmm
farming for I'm just gonna grab like a let's use Zod. It's not the best, but it's super rare. And you find a Zod, right?
hmm yeah.
It's never happened before. It probably will never happen again,
hmm
as opposed to any item in Diablo 4, right? Is there any
hmm
item that can elicit that
Yeah. a
feeling?
hundred percent.
You think so, by comparison?
100%.
Where do
A
you
hundred
find
percent.
it?
But it depends. I mean, like I have found it on. Oh shit! I dropped a Ring of Starless Skies. I've dropped a double Apex Ring of Starless Skies. Holy fucking shit! Like I've had that moment. I've also had a moment where I was like, oh my god, a 4 Apex ring that's like best in slot stats for everything that I want. And oh shit, I fucking hit the temper too. Let's fucking go. Like it exists. It's a different model, but I would also argue that that doesn't exist in any other game besides Diablo 2 and maybe Path because the game is designed around that mechanic specifically. Whereas that's not what Diablo 3 and Diablo 4 are about. They're yes, loot is a part of it, it's a part of the grind, but the gameplay is at the forefront, not the dopamine gambling like hits in the way that it was in Diablo 2. Right? Like Diablo 3 incentivized killing monsters to find loot instead of going on forums and trading and all those things, right? Obviously we had the auction house and it went away and all that. But the whole like methodology of the development team when they got into Reaper especially was kill more shit to get good stuff. That's what we want you to do. Go kill stuff, engage with the game, and go get stuff. And Diablo 4 has done a fucking great job of that, like exact thing, right? The problem people have with the loot is it is a little easier. I mean, it's a lot easier to get than it was in Diablo 2 and Path. But we tried making it hard. Do you remember the crying on the forums? On I'm never gonna get my mythic unique. I'm never gonna get my Shaco. Like we want it all, but we don't want it too fast. We want it to be real slow, but not too slow. We can't fucking decide. Turns out you can't just remake Diablo 2. Right? Turns out you can't just do that. Well,
yeah.
actually you can because
Wait, you
it was
you
the remake was
can.
really good. You could just remake Diablo 2, but that game exists, right? I think that Diablo 4 does lots of good things, but it doesn't do anything perfectly. But I've absolutely found dopamine hits when it comes to loot. I've definitely had drops that were like, holy shit, like ran around my fucking house. I got, so excited about it, right? And I've watched my friends have the same moments too. Is it as impactful as dropping a burr rune in the middle of cows? No, probably not. But I don't know a game that's ever made me feel like that. Right? I don't know any game in the history of games that gave me that. Oh shit, I'm killing, Travancore, and I just found a fucking jaw. Okay, this is dope. Like I want to do this forever. But it also took me months or weeks to farm that up, to find it, to get that thing. I don't think that people have the attention span of months to wait for a drop like that.
No, I don't.
I don't either. I'm too
Right.
old now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to to back up what he's saying, the first and only time I got a shroud in D4, and I crafted it. Like
Yeah.
not the actual like crafting. I did the RNG, throw 2 sparks and
Oh,
a
and you got it
prayer,
randomly?
and
Nice.
I just got it randomly. That was a big hit for me.
That's cool. Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Even like
And
I
rolling runes. Rolling runes and getting a hit. Like I remember like I'll roll all my yellow and blue runes just to like level them up and try to get more legendaries to trade off. And like
yeah.
rolling and hitting on an ohm rune that I can trade for like 200k or some shit. I mean that's really great for then go masterwork and whatever. Like all that exists in the game if people choose to engage with it.
I think I'm on the opposite side that for D4, like in bringing up like the Shroud 9, I crafted one same way this season, and it was like, oh, it just it felt like a shrug because like my it my character already operated with or without it, right?
Yeah.
It does.
Well,
I don't feel the
mm,
weight of like excitement for an item because like it's a matter of degrees. It's going back to like that torment kind of conversation of like
yeah.
it's just going to push that little thing up there. For me, the big question with Diablo and what I would love to see Diablo kind of handle is the so what of it. All right, we're super powerful. So what? All right, so we'll raise the ceiling a little bit more. Okay, well, so what? And like, it's just always kind of like that build that I have not found. I have enjoyed myself. I want to stress that. Like, I've enjoyed, like, especially this season, playing a Ravens build, which is something never possible before. But like the finding of the items,
You
like
got
it
your
just
Zoo Druid.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It finally
You
happened.
got it.
Yeah,
It happened.
and then it's being
And you're
taken
over here
away.
being all jaded and shit. Fucking jeez.
Well, it's because it's being
Spoiled
taken
ass
away.
brat.
I can't do it in the next
Uh-huh. No,
season.
they finally give you your little flea bag fucking dream over here, and you're no, you're not good enough for Vance.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Um, no, but like it just I think there's just like that next step of like, okay, then what? Uh
Well, can I ask you something?
yeah,
Let me ask you this. If we were doing that tier list of items, right?
yeah.
I think if we added in like a Shroud of False Death or an Air of Perdition into that list, those legitimately can compete with some of those other items.
Well, we
I don't know
can
that it's
Yeah.
do
taken down
another
convention
one.
that won the whole thing, but
Yeah.
Right,
like they do have items that were not rehashes from Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 that are
right.
pretty. The Shadowfall's Death is badass. Like the flavor of that item is pretty fucking sick. It also makes your character look really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some really cool design. Like there is some really cool design in there. I just think that the
Oh,
memes just overpower it. So
it is an interesting thing though, going through, as we were talking about that battle bracket in the Shroud of False Death, because of the design intent that was put forward by a developer about the Shroud of False Death was to evoke the feeling of a Stone of Jordan.
wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Actually, did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, and Leviathan, it is the 11th of September. Or sorry, November.
um
But yeah, so like I said, like I mean, I think the dopamines are there. I think
yeah,
the hits are there. I don't think they're the same as Diablo 2, but I don't
right.
think that they're the same as most games. But I think that there's definitely been really cool WoW moments for a loot perspective. I think yeah, just not as frequent because it's easier to find the things you want more directly. And if they made that not the case, I don't know that people would love the game anymore because we tried it. We tried that. People were not happy.
I,
It,
yeah,
well, sorry.
I think it's also just like one of those ones where it's just kind of like down to like, it's something that you'll never be able to like fully explain, but like the zeitgeist itself has moved on. 25 years ago while playing Diablo 2, it was fine to just play the game with I have an idea of a build that I'm going to make, and then an item drops, and now I have an idea to go through and build something else. Whereas nowadays it's more of I want to play this.
This
So I'm going
specific
in. I want
build
to go.
right now.
I want to
Yeah.
play this specific build right now, and with
Let me play
the
it.
proliferation of build guides and YouTube going through and just saying this is the build you have to play in season 11. That whether it is we're being shepherded into wanting to play something, or we have personal preferences, sever, about that we
Maybe
want to play
Necro.
like every single season. You know that us as players have just kind of like changed, and a lot of that comes down to an issue that druids had at the beginning of the game, where you couldn't play a werewolf druid unless you had the thunder helmet, to turn it into like a lightning druid,
Tempest
lightning
Roar.
werewolf druid and such. Yeah, and you just, unless you had that item, you were completely cut off from that build, and so it was just, something that you might wanted to try. It didn't help that was also one of like the better builds, at the time too, that was locked behind this extremely rare item that everybody's going through and trying to get, and YouTube and social media and everything else is telling you if you're playing a druid, you need a Tempest Roar, you need this, and people were getting frustrated because they couldn't get the shiny thing. And that's something that the developers have talked about, because maybe too much of your build is dependent upon your items, and so it's made the skills and the skill tree and such not as interesting, and so because that in order to play your builds, you have to have these items, and so they have to make them at a common enough rarity that you'll eventually get them throughout the course of the season, so you have the opportunity to play the thing that you want. And even rarer things like uniques that might be build to fighting still also have to be common enough that you can expect to see it at some point in time. And then at the same time, the
or
mythics, you know,
or
or
make the
the
skills better.
Ubers, yeah, or make the skills better. But then you have your Ubers and such that are these, they can still be these super rare drops that an average player might craft one, because they've completed the seasonal journey, or maybe they see one, drop for them as they go through and play the game. And but it has to be build agnostic. And so it's just a general good item, but you're maybe not as, super hyped to see it as you would, you know, finding say like a Death's Web, in D2.
I think what you've hit on there is like there, the, in general, uniques in the game being tied to a class is not great. Where the mythics have a tendency to stand out is that they are both class and build agnostic, where they can feel better when you find them. Plus, their rarity. I would love to
Yeah,
see more class agnostic items dropping that you then are like, oh, it's not the best thing ever, but I could see a way to make that work. And then also I can use it because I'm not dependent on every single slot needing this particular aspect.
being dedicated. Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where like that dopamine then starts to kick back in of like, hey, I found something really cool and I would like to be able to use it or use it on a different character. But like for me, like even getting, like I said before, the shroud, like, yeah, I can move things around, but like my character kind of plays the same. It's cool. It was nice, but it wasn't as exciting because of all the other things that were built into it. As opposed to, D2. I find that Stone of Jordan. Fuck yeah, I don't care what other ring is there. I'm gonna slap this shit on. This is gonna be awesome. Um, yeah. So maybe that's something for the expansion. It's going to depend on the amount of toughness on that item, though. So we will see. Um,
Yeah, I think it like maybe a way of like phrasing what it is that I've just kind of meandered through was it's not as exciting to find something that is required, you know,
yeah,
for your actual journey playing the season and the progression of your character. I have to find this aspect. I have to find this unique. And so it's kind of like it's more of a finally moment as opposed to something that's exciting. It's like I finally
yeah,
get to do the thing because this item dropped, not oh I get to do the thing. So
Yeah, I was. Both of you guys. I don't disagree with you, but I also have the opposite experience. Like as a sorcerer, dropping I remember very vividly dropping the Starfall Coronet, a max roll on it, so it basically turns meteor into a cooldown. I was running a chain lightning build at the time. I full switched build into that to try it and play with it, and ended up playing it for quite a bit of time before I eventually switched out of it to more of a meta build at the end game. Um, but I also played Diablo 4 where I'd like try to let my drops influence how I play it. Like I don't go in going I'm going to play this one build. I go in going, "Hey, I'm playing a Sork, right? I think I want to go lightning. I don't know, we'll see." Right? And then start with lightning and then I drop a fireball unique. Well, fuck, I'm going gloves of illuminator now, right? So like I think that definitely exists. Maybe the problem is you're playing druid. maybe the problem is you're
it's
playing druid.
always
Um
the issue, isn't it?
yeah.
I've
Yeah.
no,
But
but like
I
I've
don't know.
played other classes. I feel like
Yeah.
that is the Nightmare, I think you for me you've definitely hit it. It's like I'm finding things that are required, and then I'm
Yeah.
just trying to find better versions of the required things as opposed to like what you were saying before, in other words, integrating those things into the skills themselves,
You made the
right?
comment about the Stone of Jordan and just adding it, like no matter what, right?
I
But
mean,
that's
obviously there
actually
are
not the case.
exceptions where you wouldn't, but
But my point is though is that I think the exact same conditions existed in Diablo 2 as well. Like I
yeah.
believe that is equal between both. I don't think it's any different at all. I think it just depends on your perspective when you play.
But the difference with like if I find a Stone Jordan, I could do something with it. I find another Tempest
Eh,
Roar, I can't do
Sure,
something with it,
absolutely.
right?
You can in Diablo 4 as well. You can trade it
To who?
just like you could in Diablo 2.
Oh, oh,
There's people that trade a lot of them.
he, beautiful. In other words, you are the king of transitions today. I love you for it.
What can
The
I say?
other big part
I
that
have one
came
job.
away from the Rax interview was the developers talking about uh, integrating solo self found. You are correct. You can trade in D4. Currently, I have never actually done it because I am not like some sort of purist. I just don't want to engage with forums and trying to find people to trade with. And we play different modes, right? So we never would be trading with one another. Um, but they did
Which
talk
is
about,
100% a you problem.
yeah, that I get it. A lot of my issues are clearly caused by my poor choices, right? Playing hardcore, playing a druid has definitely messed me up, and I get
The
that.
druid hate
I
must stop. I
recognize
apologize.
it. It's fine. We were actually probably one of the best classes this season. My God, if you've got some time, if you have not played a druid this season, please do it. It's so fun. Raven's druid is one of my favorite druid experiences since this game launched, and I'm sad that it doesn't exist in the next season. Please, developers, if you are listening at this point after all of the nonsense that we have spoken, just make that happen. You don't have to release the game in March. Just get the druid into a solid point by then, and I will be happy. Um, but the solo self found is a mode in which obviously you can't trade with people. Um, in a game in which trading is already kind of hidden behind, back channels and discords and what have you, it does it feel like it's needed? I think it 100% is if they intend to have any legitimacy in leaderboards, right? I think having you have the two versions. When you make a character, you choose solo self found, and then when that person shows up on a leaderboard, we can trust that they didn't trade to get the materials, to get the gear, to get all of that. that they just did it themselves. Now, whether or not Elon Musk is out there having somebody, do that for him, that we can't confirm, right? He can pay all the
But
people
we
he
can
wants to
confirm
play
that.
as.
That
Oh
can
yeah, that
be.
he does do.
Yeah, that
But
was, I think, confirmed actually.
oh yeah, he pays people to play his account. We can't
Just to be
stop
clear.
that. But we,
Funnily enough, confirmed by him.
yeah, I
You
know.
know,
Right. I don't know if I trust
So,
the source, to be honest.
fake news.
I wouldn't
Fake
trust the
news.
source either.
Um, so we can't stop that. But what we can stop is people going to, I mean, you log into D4 now and you'll see trade spammed by people selling gold, by selling um, runes, by selling everything, boss mats in
I was say
particular.
I did want to like interject at some point here because you've thrown so much slander on trade in Diablo 4. There is an active community of people that trade, and I've never used a forum either. I haven't traded much, but literally just popping in a trade chat, hey, Bach rune, I have 4 of them. Anyone want, right? And just trading 4 for 4 with someone else for their own runes because we needed to swap. Like I've had that experience too. It exists. It's out there. People out. You don't have to go to a forum. There's trade chat in town. Try it. You'd be surprised. People actually read it sometimes.
It's mainly just gold spammers and people saying dick jokes and 6 7s. It's all over there. Just like prep yourselves for
These hardcore streets or something.
it is. It's so. You are right though. So of course, probably a little bit. It's a different economy, but um, trade in general is still not great. Um,
Sure. Yeah, it's not robust, but it exists, and we exist.
I
We're out
I
there.
honestly don't really care, but I think it is more of the from a leaderboard standpoint. If we want to say that that level that person did that well, trusting in the legitimacy of like they did not purchase 500 Duriel runs to get all the gear that they had, whereas I had to sit there and grind out the 7 that I was able to farm over the season to get my record, right? I had to work real hard to farm Duriel 7 times, and they just bought 500 of them and got all the gear that they needed and were able to do
Or
to really well.
or they were just a popular streamer and were given 500 runs. They didn't even have to
Right.
buy it. So
And kudos to
there's
like in the interview Rax does even say like people offer to give me runes and I play all day and they are suddenly offering me more than what I have ever been able to farm by myself. So what is the thing there? And that's when the developers do admit like, hey, yeah, we are working on it. It's not going to be coming with this season, but it will come down the road. I'm all for it. I think it's an optional mode, right? It's an optional box that you check. Some of us are unwillingly participating in it already, right? Like it just happens. Do you
hi.
have to?
Oh, that's funny.
No.
No, it's just funny that you're yeah, no, you're right.
Like
Unwillingly participating in it already.
I,
Just
I'm
that makes it great.
100%. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
remember the last time I actually partied with anybody in this
I will
game.
party with you, Nine. Come say hi. We'll
I
play.
we partied together because you had to kill me for an achievement on PlayStation.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. That was yeah, I recall that.
I can actually,
You heard
now
it
that
here
you
first,
mentioned that, I can
everyone.
go.
Xanth and
I
Nineball boosting achievements on PSN.
yeah.
You couldn't earn them in the streets. So
I can actually go back and check the date that I got that trophy too, so I can see.
yeah, then you'll know how long it has actually been. Um, that is a nice little marker there. Um, yeah, I think it's totally fine. I would like to see it. Do I think I'm gonna like make a run at the leaderboards? No, um, but I'm gonna take a stab at it, and it would be nice to know that like with my limited time, I'm going up against people who also are on the same level, right? Or at least if I'm losing to the guy who was legitimately grinding for 22 hours a day for 2 weeks to get everything that they needed, as as opposed to just opening up their wallet to do it. So
I I think that'll also just be a very interesting thing to see the leaderboard for a non-solo self-found and what they're capable of achieving, and then seeing the leaderboard for someone that is playing solo self-found. Because there probably will be some big names, like Rax obviously, but like Woody, I think would be someone else that also would be probably, predominantly playing solo self-found and, would be able to like mark his achievement on the leaderboard. And, you could probably say that if there's like, 100 people above him that you probably say that, they're probably not as good of a player as like Woody is,
right.
and so to just show the difference that economy can make for player power.
I would love to see that. I think that would be super intriguing. And then we can see, can you really just how much can you buy your way into um, the leaderboards, right? How effective does that actually end up being? And it's not to say that everybody who'd be on the leaderboards, maybe they just don't click the box, maybe they're not, but there would be a clear disparity. And what I will say was like having because Path of Exile has their solo self file mode. They've had it for years. It is interesting to kind of look and compare the two. Like what is most of the streamers will play in solo self file because it adds just more legitimacy to anything that they are doing, and they're not being gifted things left and right, and especially when they're doing a race or something like that. uh, I don't know. I think when you are watching somebody just legitimately be good at a game, it's more entertaining.
Agreed.
Hot take, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just spitting all this fire. Game comes out in March. People shouldn't cheat. Um, Toughness is bad, and like that is just. I'm just dropping heaters as we close the show. It is so good to be back with you guys. And
I'm glad you're proud of yourself.
I, I do want to make one note about like the tower in the pit, and this
yeah,
is again, it's just a little thing, just like it makes me question why, in the talks, because they were going through and saying that, well, we can make the tower a more curated, less dependent upon RNG, that it becomes an actual good metric and measure of the performance of your character that we can attach a leaderboard to, for people to go through and have this thing that they can channel all of their competitiveness into, and that lets us get weird and crazy with the pit, so we can do different things with it, because we don't have to worry about balance, in people using the pit as a metric to gauge these things too. And it was just like, what? Why wouldn't wouldn't it make more sense to do the new thing and have that be the weird stuff, since people already are associating the pit with the competitiveness in the leaderboards and the metric by which your build and your play is dictated on. And now you're saying, but it's actually the tower and the pit is going to be something different. Like, why are we shifting focuses? Wouldn't it have made more sense to just make the pit the competitive thing, and then the new tower be the stuff where you can go and be weird at? That's just me.
I,
I don't. It seems we. It just seems like a really weird development decision. To me.
I don't disagree. I mean, they are
Yeah.
relatively the same thing. It's just, yeah. Maybe they just didn't, for it to be leaderboards, maybe they wanted to decouple glyph leveling. And
Well, we've changed it because glyph leveling used to be nightmare dungeons, and then it became
God
the pit. So
damn
we've
it,
already
you are
swapped
right. Yeah.
things. We've already swapped
You
things
really forget
around.
that? Like,
I I
Yeah.
we literally
I
just swapped them
did.
one point. I wish
Yeah.
we'd swapped that back. Honestly, if they'd swap that right
Yeah.
back, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I
And
guess
it just, it's because it's just like, to me, it would make more sense that, you could decouple. It makes more sense to decouple glyph leveling from the pit, because it's both like, you know, it is for glyph leveling, but it's also for, you know, like dick measuring, you know, for you know, is one of the biggest things for it. And then once your glyphs are all level 100 anyways, then you're just using it for, you know, farming XP and such, that the pit's already decoupled from glyph
Right.
leveling in certain aspects. You know, it has, it's multifaceted. Taking that one thing out isn't that big of a change.
You're not wrong.
Like I said,
I mean, yeah,
again, that's just me. It's like, what, reading that, it just was weird that we're wanting to change player focus, you know, to another system. But hey, again, like I said, it's not even the first time they did it. Glyph leveling with the pit and Obdicite, you know, because it used to be run Nightmare Dungeons to level your glyphs and run the pit to level up your masterworking, and now we're running Nightmare Dungeons to do our masterworking, and we're leveling our glyphs in the pit.
No, we're
So,
not.
you
We're
know,
doing Infernal Hordes to do our masterworking. So,
we're
you know,
doing Infernal Hordes to do our masterworking now. Yeah.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. But no, you're right though. Like Nightmare Dungeons are actually better now. Like they're a lot more fun now for sure. I liked a lot of the changes they made a couple seasons ago. I wish they would just switch that back. I would say there's one thing that caught my eye too, that we did not talk about. That was kind of the most shocking thing for me too. Was the developers asked Rax a question, and I remember this vividly because I had to rewind it a couple times when it happened. But they asked Rax a question about something about the God drop. Like, would you feel bad seeing somebody else beat you on a leaderboard that got like a better drop than you, like a way better drop? And Rax's response was what it should have been. Was no. Like he got the better drop, that it was what I would expect, right? But their reaction was surprise at that. And I was like, are they really, that shocked me because to me that tells me that they're developing the game as in like no matter what drops you're going to be functional to a level of your peers. And so that's really the delusion of the whole game explained in one methodology is just they really like don't want the god drop to happen so that you do have that edge. They want to keep it balanced. I'm sorry, competitive, being hyper competitive in a game that is based around random numbers generation is not conducive to mental health. If you want to be competitive, go play competitive games. There's even playing fields everywhere. Diablo's competition shouldn't be about it being an even playing field. It should be about who's grinding the most, who's grinding the hardest, who got the god drop, because that's what RNG is, right? I think it's just a different mentality for competition, and watching their reaction to that genuinely shocked me because I thought for sure they were developing items to be the god drop, right? Like to give us those hits, and that told me that they're not. They're like, okay, this is cool, but we got to tone it down so it's not too much better than these things. And it's like, man, like swing wild, man. Let's swing wild.
which, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the dopamine of it, right? And the finding of good things. If everything is kind of scaled and there isn't that like, oh, I got this most amazing thing that will allow me to kind of push on these leaderboards, then yeah, it never feels as good. And that's what we want. I think you are spot on that of like, yes, after, you know, 2 days of grinding in the pit, I finally got this item. I have now sanctified it, and it is hit. We didn't even talk about sanctification. Well, I felt like we won't talk about it until it is fully rolled out because we just don't know what it looks like yet. Um,
Yeah.
that'll be a separate podcast, guys. We'll get into
Yeah, because
sanctification.
it wasn't fully baked on the PTR, right?
Right.
That was my understanding. Yeah.
It seemed like there were some things that were happening with it that were not intended. People are sanctifying and getting like ignores durability loss, which was less than ideal. Um,
No, dude, that's amazing. That's amazing. Could you imagine?
yeah,
Holy shit.
Actually, that just triggered. Isn't it in one of the interviews they also had mentioned that they're getting rid of durability?
Oh, are they?
I mean,
Am I misremembering that?
That would be amazing.
uh,
Please get rid of durability.
I would need to go and scour. I don't recall, but is it possible? Does it need to exist? Death penalty is non-existent, but we also get
Yeah, so let it
so
be
much.
non-existent. A repair bill in a Diablo game is never ever been fun. Like never ever been fun. There are
Well,
so many games that I play
let's bring
that
back
don't have
corpse
durability.
runs.
And you know what I've never missed? You know what I didn't miss when I played through Baldur's Gate 3? I didn't miss item durability. You know what I
Mhm.
don't miss when I'm playing any RPG that doesn't have durability? Durability. It's
Right.
stupid. It's yeah. That would be amazing if they actually removed that.
I do like a
I
consequence
believe
for
it was.
dying.
I believe it was actually in the Rob's interview
Gotcha.
that.
I did not watch that one.
Yeah.
I also want
So,
consequences when you die. I don't want my items to break. That's stupid.
yeah, but
Oh
like
no,
you've got more than
I think
enough
I was.
gold.
It was specifically no. It was actually I did misread it. It was talking about durability, no durability
No
loss
durability
from the
loss.
sanctification
Yeah.
rule. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. Sorry.
Well,
What?
here's my pitch.
Yep.
Durability is stupid. You can make me pay for like whatever, but it's just a problem that like why do my items like I'm this powerful. I died a couple of times over the last couple of days and now my items broke because I forgot to go click a fucking repair icon. It doesn't cost anything that matters. Why is it in the game? It's a waste of time.
So maybe they should
Yeah.
just take gold out of your wallet every time you die.
Sure. Cool. Done. Take
Why not?
35k every time I die. Don't care.
Why not both, Suzanne?
Yeah. Why not both?
Yeah.
Back
They
in
put a
my
tree of
day,
whispers
you
in
used to die and
every
your
city.
gold would drop right at your corpse.
They put a tree whispers turn in every major city.
Yeah. Okay.
They optimize the Tree of Whispers area to have all the stuff, almost all of the stuff that you need, right? Why durability? Why? Can we just evolve past it? Doesn't matter.
No.
That's my hill to die
Well,
on.
you see, Diablo 2 did it. Therefore,
Yeah, right. It's such an engaging mechanic, you know.
next
I'm
we'll
Go to
be
sleep.
bringing back stamina.
Yes, yeah. Stamina potion chugging, please. Oh my god. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because that was a great system too.
I feel
Yeah.
like stamina is the one thing everybody can agree. Like, yeah, that wasn't good. We don't want
Yeah,
that.
no, durability is too. You're stupid. So there's that.
I want you to break more of your items in softcore. Okay.
Hardcore player doesn't care about repair bill. Go figure.
It has never been an issue.
No way. You just die and lose the whole character. Like
Yeah,
whatever.
the repair was pretty easy then.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
know what,
we're
Sant? Don't
yep.
yuck my yum. You said that like 3 years ago, and I'll never forget it because I was like, "That is wild. I've never heard it."
Yeah.
And now you're yucking my yum.
Your yum is a dislike though, and that's different, right?
Okay,
See, if you
got
could
it.
phrase it
That's
in a
fair.
manner that doesn't involve saying that you don't like it, I could maybe get
I
behind it.
really appreciate. Okay, I'll do that later.
So yeah, you'll get
I'll
to it.
write a dissertation for you. It's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going real long tonight, but it's been great to come back and chat a little Diablo. I assume we'll be getting more news. Game Awards are in a month. We'll catch some more stuff, but before then, I imagine we'll be getting another campfire chat to kind of go over all of the PTR relatively quickly because this season should be out in less than a month, which is wild. And we should have plenty more to chat about when we get back together. In the meantime, we should close it out as we always do with a moo, moo, moo.
Moo moo moo.